Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of All Star Fandom Show on YouTube. Look, I'm not going to waste time with a whole extremely long intro. Jen is here. Hey, y'all see it. She here. And we
Hi.
finna get off up into this thing. Daredevil Born Again. Season 1, Episode 8 was absolutely what's the word I'm looking for?
We were
Give me a
right.
word. Give me a word, Jen. Give me a word. What am I looking for?
We
It
were right.
was
We called it.
suspenseful. It was suspenseful. It was dramatic. My heart is
Ooh,
still beating.
it
My
was.
heart is still
It's.
beating
It's.
from
It.
watching this
It was
episode.
a nice slow burn.
Oh my goodness.
A nice slow burn. But we
Mm-mm.
called it, man. We called it.
Yeah, let's start there. First off, I will introduce I'm Doc. Y'all know me. All Star Fan Show. Y'all can find us everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Okay. Jen, you want to introduce yourself? This is
I.
Jen. This
I'm
is Jen.
Jen.
Jen,
I'm.
right
I,
there.
I'm your. I'm your favorite nerdiqua at nerdiqua on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky. And then there's Rockin' the Bald Pod. That's my podcast. And yeah, we were right.
Yeah, we were right.
We were right.
Jen, let's just jump right into this thing. We're gonna start at the beginning.
Mhm.
Poindexter, aka Bullseye, is
Yep.
in prison, not enjoying himself. By no means is he enjoying himself
He's
because
bored. It's like,
he was bored
he's bored.
until they put his ass in general population, and then he decided to make a phone call. And who did he call, Jen?
He called Mr. Murdoch.
Of course he did.
Mr. Murdoch, because now he's like, oh,
Of course he did.
oh.
And we got one of our favorite fans along with us tonight. There he is. Everybody, there's Turtle. There's Turtle. Hey Turtle. How you doing, man?
Hey, yo.
Let me tell you something. Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, so let me break it down.
You're still processing. I love
aka
it.
Poindexter, aka Bullseye, who killed Daredevil's best friend, is in prison.
Yeah.
They just put him in general population. He was supposed to be in isolation. Just put him in general population. And the first person he calls is Matt. He wants to see Matt. Okay? So he want to tell Matt the truth now. Who he was working for.
Yep.
All right? That's one story. The second story is Dr. Glenn is on some other stuff. Because obviously Matt mind is everywhere. But she like, I don't know about this. Look, you tripping. Why you don't like the mayor? Blah, blah, blah. That's another story. Okay?
And her comments about vigilantes, because she's talking about Daredevil to his face, and he's like, stay calm.
Trust
stay calm,
me, we are about to get into it. We are about to get into it. Okay? And if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you right now. Spoilers. If you ain't watching.
Heavy
Spoilers is coming.
Heavy discussion spoilers.
Yes. Right? So, all right, that's another story, right? Vanessa and Fisk and Adam, this triangle. That's another story. And then we have BB.
Baby. And the new deputy
mayor of communications. But I say BB simply because BB is not what she made out to be, or what we thought from the first 7 episodes.
Yep. She's finally showing her true card.
But let's start with your thoughts on Matt going to visit Poindexter in that prison.
I was wondering if we were going to get him back this season, and now seeing the whole thing as a whole to what we discussed last week, it makes sense. But I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. I'll take that back. Whoever thought while this dude is getting stitches, whoever thought that they were supposed to uncuff him while getting stitches,
Not
What
not
are you
even
doing? Well,
not
this,
even that.
that was like the stupidest. Like that was really stupid. You know who that is. You know he's in the room. The guy freaking messed up one of his teeth to literally shoot at someone so he could rip off all the other bindings with his hands that are exposed. It's just
I don't get.
you're supposed to leave him cuffed the entire time.
I don't get. I don't get how Matt gave in so easily. How
He
did Matt give in to temptation? Why couldn't he just leave the first time when he got ready to walk out?
he has so much. He's a trigger fest right now because like it's the scene with it's the scene when he's at the law office. He has so much compound emotions right now that it's hard for him to focus and think straight because he's worried about Vanessa. Muse is dead. He's trying to put everything together and try to figure it out because he is right. Something is off. He's like, we missed something. What is it? And it's eating at him because he knows something is off. He's not wrong about that. So I think with all this compound emotions and then how Foggy is coming back into the mix with all that, like it's bringing up all this unresolved trauma that he hasn't dealt with, and it's making him a loose cannon. That happens.
It's I'm not gonna say it's amazing, but I'm wondering what like this whole situation has gotten Matt off his square. Like
Mhm.
he can't pay attention, he can't focus, he got all these different things going on, but he did say something that made sense to me. He said, we're doing all this stuff, we're working, we're trying to fight for justice, but all it seems like we're just the keepers of chaos. Like we're not accomplishing anything.
Anything.
Like
Everything's getting worse and
Poindexter,
not
like
better.
Feige died, Poindexter went to prison. Okay, fine, whatever. We
Yep.
get White Tiger out. We get Hector off. Then he gets murdered. All right.
Mhm.
Then you have one of the most corrupt dudes ever in Hell's Kitchen is the mayor now. So he's
Or
like, man, what
or
what what
or
else
or
do
is
we need
he?
to do? Yeah,
Or is
well,
he?
right. But he's like, what else do we need to do in this fight of justice till we like feel like we're winning?
Yeah,
You
it's like
know?
no, Matt is absolutely right. The math is not mathing. He's doing everything by the book and it's not working when it should be working.
I'm I don't get it. I don't get it because my thing is my thing is Jen.
Mhm.
First off, I think Matt needs some release, so to speak, but he needs time to actually grieve Foggy.
That's it right there. He hasn't grieved. So because he's not grieving and pacifying himself, it's bubbling over.
And then I don't
And a professional therapist who's his girlfriend is just like, I can't take you anymore.
but
What
he
is
does
going on?
that's the thing. Like he doesn't he really I can tell he loved this woman. We both know he loved this woman, right?
Mhm.
And but he doesn't want therapy right now. And he most definitely don't want therapy from his woman. You
Well,
know what I'm
you're
saying?
well, speaking speaking as someone who is in therapy, you really shouldn't see someone that's a therapist that you are in that have any type of blood relation, romantic relationship because it's not going to serve you.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
just
no, but like I think with what one of the things I like about Matt's story in this show is that he actually represents a lot of people that try to handle different types of grief and trauma all by themselves without getting help, and he actually really does need help.
mm-hmm.
Because Heather does have a point with him hiding behind a mask. That is true to
She,
to a
to a point, and
to
she
a
did
point.
not have to say it the way she said it.
Well, keep in mind she's still processing the trauma she's been through too, so she's not on her A game either.
And then on top of that, the way she worded how she was like, the Muse tried to kill me, Daredevil tried to kill the Muse, then I killed the Muse.
She said they're just little boys on a playground and I saved myself. I'm like, did
She
you?
saved herself. That's what she said. And I
Yeah.
was like, did you really save yourself? And when
She
Matt was
didn't.
like, no,
Daredevil was
Daredevil
there.
came to save you.
Well,
And
no,
she was
like,
like, no, I saved myself.
here's another fact. If Daredevil had not shown up and, kicking his turd real good, you would have died.
Yeah.
You would
would have
not have
bled out.
survived.
You would have bled out right there next year.
You would not have survived if it had not been for Daredevil, because what did the cop say? Someone dressed the wound and gave us time.
Yep. She would have bled out and been.
She would have died.
Not only was she already a part of the Muse's last piece of work, she would have permanently been a part of his last piece of work had it not been for Matt kicking in that window.
Yeah, I mean, like what I was saying, to a point, she is correct in some of her estimations, but she's not fully correct either, because she would have died. Absolutely.
Goodness, and I get it. Everybody, oh my goodness. Y'all,
you are so processing. You're not ready.
Not movie. This show is so good. Like the
it's
writing
good, man.
is
It's
so
good.
If you're not watching Daredevil Born Again,
what are you doing?
Please take a look at it. But before you take a look at it, you must go back and watch the previous Daredevils, or you may or may not know what's going on in this particular series of Daredevil, because it is called Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, we are getting a season 2, by the way.
Oh yeah,
we are. We're getting a season 2.
So that is part of the first story. Matt and Vanessa. I mean, sorry, not Matt and Vanessa. We'll get to Matt and Vanessa. Matt and Dr. Glenn. That's Matt and Poindexter. All right. Now, let's get to this triangle of, and I want to know your opinion on this, because they keep showing this particular piece of the wall every time Fisk's walk past this in his dungeon.
Yeah.
And I have a theory about that, and we'll discuss that. But what do you think about what happened when they went down to the dungeon? Oh, and before you say that, hey, spoilers. I'm gonna warn y'all. Spoilers coming.
Spoiler heavy conversation.
Jen, please. What was going through your head when they first walked down the stairs and they walked past that section of the wall that I'm talking about?
For me personally, I was surprised that this moment was happening. I mean, we discussed last week that Vanessa was going to probably do something to show her loyalty and to keep Fisk where she needs him. And oh yeah, this moment proved that 10 times over. I wasn't expecting it to go down like this. So that really makes me, confirm that, she set that guy up to get killed because of the conversation they had just before they walked in. And then you go downstairs. Yeah, they keep showing the painting, and we've been hypothesizing it's one of Muse's pieces, but now I'm like, well, is it a Muse?
But wait a minute. Is that a painting, or is that just a blood stain on the wall?
Could be, and he has it framed because it's a particular blood stain.
Thank you.
Because now the question is, if it's not a Muse painting and it's just a particular blood stain on the wall and he framed it, whose blood is it?
So here's my theory.
Ooh.
Are you ready for this?
I'm sitting down.
My theory is at one point, maybe Wilson Fisk might have had a little bit of infidelity in him. And that particular spot is where Vanessa made him do what he made her do to Adam.
Ooh.
That's my theory. But as y'all know, we got somebody down here in these comments.
He just put it in the chat too.
I'm not the only one with a theory. So I'm going to post what our good friend Turtle has to say about this. Let me put this up 1 second. Here we go. Check that out. So Turtle, this is what Turtle says. That blood-stained picture is from when him and Daredevil fought in the penthouse in season 3. That was a wild fight. And look, I'm going to tell you like this, Turtle. Your memory might be, way better than mine as far as that blood stain and that splatter. And it could be Daredevil's blood. But I'm just saying that theory that Wilson might have been, because committing adultery and Vanessa found out and then took care of his mistress, that would make Vanessa as cold as she turned out to be on this show.
And then with Disney, Disney is no stranger from cherry picking from things from comic book stories and not putting anything all the way out, and then changing some of the narrative to fit the storytelling for what they're doing in the cinematic universe. So it's not that you're incorrect. It's just a matter of what Disney is going to do with it in the writing with this show. Because it's well known that Disney does that, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're going to do with this, unless they confirm it in show. Because, like, this is what I mean, where you have to pay attention to certain things, like how they keep showing the blood stain. That's a very important key because they keep showing it. We keep coming back to this dungeon where Adam was, and now he just got taken out. Like, all these are important pieces that they keep bringing us back to, which means they're pivotal to the propelling of the story. So I don't know what we're going to get next week, but
hopefully not a heart attack, because let me tell you something, my heart was beating so hard.
It's still beating so hard.
Like, I was nervous. I'm just gonna tell you a list of people I was nervous for. I was nervous for his what is she to him? His campaign manager. Is she his campaign manager? I was nervous for her, right? I was nervous for BB.
I'm still nervous for BB.
I was nervous for the commissioner. I really thought he was about to have the commissioner taken out in the kitchen. Like, with all those people there.
I think he's starting to walk on thin ice, though, because I can take that moment as foreshadowing.
Really?
Yeah.
And then the brazen arrogance of the task force cop, talking to the commissioner the way he was like, I don't work for you anymore. Basically, I work for the mayor. Like, I don't even answer to you. We talk about the commissioner.
Well, no, to a degree, though, he's correct. He's just being used as a puppet for the public.
Man. And okay, so we'll come back to it. Let's go back. Vanessa, Adam, Wilson Fisk. Back to this. So that was my theory, and if you all hadn't figured out by now, Vanessa had an extramarital affair when Fisk was in prison. Fisk found out. He locked the guy up in the dungeon. He had been torturing him and beating on this dude for God only knows how long, for 8 episodes. So I don't know how long that's been, but
we don't even know how long he's been in there before we even got into this show.
Yeah, well, he in
the realm of the story, he's been there for a long time.
For a while. So in this particular scene, Kingpin brings his wife Vanessa down to where Adam is, and he just tell her to her face, I can't do this no more. I can't look at his face. I can't look at his hands. Because I think about it. And then, as you always point out, Jen, you saw that twitch of his hand.
Oh, he was twitching. Mm-hmm. He was twitching.
And then the next scene, bullets are flying through Adam.
Yep.
3 to the chest, 1 to the head.
She's a good shot.
They pan that camera back. Camera back. And who was it, Jen?
It was Adam.
Who shot Adam?
Vanessa
shot at him.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the camera work in this because all they showed was the key.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the suspense was building, you're starting to figure, wait.
And here's where my theory comes in. After they show Adam in the position he was in, then they panned to that blood stain.
Yeah.
That's where my theory comes from.
They did pan to it. They did.
So this is like some tit for tat type stuff going on here.
Yeah. That's really what it seems like, honestly,
like,
in my opinion.
The king and queen are playing chess, and Matt out here playing checkers because he lost.
He's playing chess, but he's still
Well,
let me finish. But he's still playing with pawns. He's not gotten to the serious pieces yet.
Oh, he's so messed up right now. Matt don't even know what he playing.
Everybody is messed up.
That's this true, but Matt, man,
Everybody is messed up.
Matt trying to
But
be in a
you know what
relationship. He's
though?
trying to be in a relationship. He's trying to grieve, and he's trying to be a lawyer on top of all of this, taking on all of this energy.
This is where like professional people in the real world actually learn from this. Matt should be taking a sabbatical because he's been through too much.
He should.
And even Heather, she needs to take a break from her work because she's like all emotional and spouting advice. And I'm like, sis, can you go to therapy? Go to therapy.
And she does too, but how are therapists in therapy anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they deal with a lot of patients with stuff.
Yeah.
And they have their own issues outside of work. But anyway, that's a different conversation.
Yeah. But okay, but back to that. But like, whole scene.
But it shows that you and I were right because we talked about, that what if she is the mastermind and she's playing Kingpin? And she is.
Yes.
And she just did the biggest move on the chessboard. To prove, because now he really thinks she is loyal to him. Because like when Matt is sitting at the bar, trying to put everything together, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, like trying to figure this out, actually goes to the jail to see Poindexter, thank you. And he's like saying, it's Fisk, isn't it? It's Fisk. And he's just laughing because he's like, he doesn't get it. He has no idea. He hasn't put it together yet. He's actually enjoying that Matt hasn't figured it out for a moment.
I mean, he was partly right. It was one of the Fisks. You know what I'm saying?
You just picked the wrong one.
Because
we also know in story writing, the fact that she walked in wearing a red dress and she was the only one wearing a red dress, I was like, is she going to get killed?
And this is supposed to be a black and white ball.
Right. Black and the black and white
tire. Well, this is what I thought when she stepped out with the red dress. I thought he probably told her, you wear this red dress because you need to be dressed differently from everybody else, every other woman in the ball, because they think of themselves so much more elevated than everyone else. Because, they both think they are the smartest people in the room.
Yes.
So I think that was her arrogance, wearing that red dress to a black and white ball.
Yeah. Well, no, like they both have narcissistic tendencies. So yeah, they both believe that the smartest people in the room. So let me go to my theory since we're still on the subject. My theory is the character whose name I can never remember, even though they say it, and they just made him Deputy Mayor of Communications.
Daniel.
I think he's at the moment. I think he's working for Vanessa.
You think so?
Like right now, I have a feeling he's working for Vanessa, but at the same time, I still have another thought where he's doing something on his own in the background because he's getting more ballsy.
He is getting more ballsy, and it seems like every episode he pledges like more loyalty to Fisk. Like, dude, how much more loyalty can you get? Like this time, he was like, I'll burn for you. I was like, dude, where are we going with this?
When he said that, I was like, really? We're quoting Bridgerton? We're quoting Bridgerton. Why are we quoting Bridgerton? It's like, no, dude, just no.
When he said that, I was like, why are you?
I'm like, that's the Duke's line. You first, your original.
My first question, let's go ahead and talk about Daniel and BB. My first question about Daniel is, why is he so obsessed with Wilson Fisk? So here's one of my theories that I was going to tell you last week that I didn't tell you. And it might make sense now.
Say it.
But I don't know. It ties in with that bloodstain if it was a mistress. What if that boy is his son?
What?
And that might be revealed next week. I'm just saying that's probably why he has his undying loyalty to this man who he doesn't know, who we all know is a career criminal,
Wow.
And he seemed to genuinely want to be around this man and
But
want to
then
make
my
him happy.
but to go back to your other theory then, my question is, okay, let's say the other theory is right and she finds out about another woman with Fisk and basically does the same thing tick for tat. How did the son survive?
Because she didn't kill the son. Maybe she didn't know.
Possible.
Maybe because my thing is the mom probably, told her son who his dad was. And
Mhm.
then next thing you know, she kidnapped, she get gobbled up by Vanessa's goons,
Mhm.
and she out the picture. Boy got to raise himself knowing who his dad is. I know I'm going on a whole tangent. Sorry, we're going on a side mission. Here we go. But boy goes, does whatever he does in life, ends up, stepping to Wilson right in his most vulnerable moment when he needs somebody to be a yes man.
Mm.
Here pops Daniel. I'm just saying, it's a theory,
It's a theory. It's a theory. But
but
then the there could be something else going on with him. What
what what,
if
what you got, Jen? What you got? Come on, speak it.
ah, what if he's
Speak
a
it.
what if he's another vigilante undercover?
And I was thinking that too. Like it could go either way, but his undying loyalty to this man is wild.
Like this is why I said, it's possible he's working for Vanessa because he's flating the ego. He's giving exactly what Fisk wants to throw him off because he's not really questioning him and he's elevating him, so he's keeping tabs on him. With that said, I think there's something more to him at the same time
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because like there's definitely something else going on with just the way he's evolved. And then to your point with just this obsession with Fisk is like, why are you so obsessed with him? It doesn't the math is not
It
mathing.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I'm going to show this comment. It's from
Yeah,
Turtle. I was thinking this too.
BB is
BB is slow.
yeah.
Why would you do all of that at the ball? Just the dumbest move. I would have told the commissioner to meet me at a certain place, time, not do it there with the task force, and everybody is watching everybody. I thought that didn't make sense either. Even if she was whispering, because you never know, those guys could have put a bug on the commissioner when he was in the kitchen.
To play devil's advocate here,
Uh huh.
it's probably the only opportunity she has to contact him because the only other way to contact him at this point is the mayor's office, and they're gonna track at the mayor's office who's calling in, why are they calling in. So it was probably in this is where I'm also guesstimating, hypothesizing that she thought that was the only opportunity to get him at a ball with a crowd of people where, yeah, there she understands the risk of possibly being watched, but then there's also this distraction because the mayor and his wife are there, they were dancing, people that are boozing and schmoozing, there is drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was the only opportunity to get him to talk casually at a party because she's blending in.
Well, I tell you one thing, Turtle. I appreciate your comment, but I
Thank you
tell
so
you
much, man.
one thing about BB. I think because I was thinking the same thing when she approached the commissioner in front of all the people and the task force is there. Wilson is watching everybody. Um, but she's smart in using Daniel because she knows that Kingpin was the main suspect in her uncle's case, in his murder case.
Mhm.
Now, it's smart that she's going about this in a roundabout way by using Daniel to get all the information she needs and everything like that. But what she's not thinking about is how intelligent Kingpin is. Like she's not even factoring that into her equation.
Well,
And that's gonna mess
she
around and get
probably
her taken out.
she probably doesn't know. I mean, because she's young for one, and how long has she been reporting and doing stuff on her own? So, and we don't know um if the uncle ever talked about Kingpin to her at all. He probably kept it under wraps. So I think it's just knowledge she doesn't have because she hasn't really experienced him, which is why she's trying to get close, because she is trying to figure him out. It's the point of why she talks to the commissioner, because she's trying to put it together.
Man, it's so nerve-wracking.
I know it is.
Where your nerves like frazzle. I was like, it's like every turn, every scene. But let's come to this leading up to this final conclusion of the episode.
Well, wait, like 10:26. Turtle put something else in about the painting.
Okay, quick. Let me put this up. Okay, it's coming from Turtle. Okay, so the picture with the blood stain is called "Rabbit in the Snowstorm" from his penthouse in the season 3. Okay, Daredevil did whoop his butt. He whooped his butt all up and through that penthouse. Okay, Turtle, thank you for going deep in your bag on that one, sir. We appreciate you. That's why we love you. Thank you so much, man.
Yay.
Rabbit in the Snowstorm. Okay, well, that kills my theory.
And he's wearing a white suit.
I would say that kills my suit. I know, that kills my theory unless Disney do something different, you know?
Let's see if they cherry pick.
Because you never know with Disney. No, but I appreciate that.
Never know.
With that being said, in that painting, we're going to move towards the end because let me tell y'all something. We're going to fast forward this thing a little bit. Poindexter eventually gets free. Y'all heard Jen say she spit a tooth in someone's eye and then killed 2 guards. Stole an ID, got on a bus, casually sat down, and went on his merry way.
And then another cop's like, you had a rough night, huh? He's like,
yeah, you have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Ends up at the mayor's ball with a gun.
But here's what I found interesting about that moment. He can control himself.
He can, or he would have killed a whole lot of more people.
Yeah. He has a really insane skill set with how precise he is and how he chooses to use that precision. But it shows that he's not insane to the point where he can't control himself. Because I found that moment, it's just like, you can control it. Okay.
You know why? Because Foggy was supposed to look like a madman that just decided to go on a shooting spree, but he was the actual target.
Yeah,
but
he was.
He didn't. Bullseye wasn't counting on Matt being there or Daredevil being there. You see, because nobody knows who Daredevil is, so he wasn't counting on that. So that threw his whole game plan off because we know Bullseye is the top assassin, one of the top assassins. And when he went to that ball, his only objective was to take out his target for which he was paid for by Vanessa.
Yeah.
Which is Kingpin.
Yeah. And so that whole moment in the bar, he goes back to Josie's bar to talk, basically just to let off some steam and drink. And that's when he puts it together because she says to him, let's go ahead and, finish this right. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Foggy, he never got to drink his shot. He's like, he never shot. He's like, no, he never drinks that. He's like, you saying I don't know my customers? And then he goes back thinking about that night. He goes, he was celebrating early. He finally put it together. It's like he was going to win the case.
Yep. And then Vanessa would have been exposed.
Exactly. So this whole thing from the beginning was Vanessa. Even Penn going to jail.
Oh, she has been planning this for so long.
She has been playing this for so long. Like, she actually sent him to jail so she wouldn't be exposed. And then she makes the business even more lucrative.
And do you think Kingpin is so blinded by love?
Yes.
He can't see, he don't see it, or he can see it and he chooses not to see it?
My opinion right now, unless they reveal something in the show, is I think he's really blind by her.
They say love is blind now.
Shakespeare wrote about it. Shakespeare said himself, love is blind.
Oh my goodness.
I think the pen is blind. I'm like, man, you're a fool.
Oh man.
Your own wife put you in prison so she wouldn't be exposed, and you don't see it.
Oh, I'm gonna put this up. Coming from Turtle. Another season making Fisk look weak, and they are showing Fisk in a different light. They're making him more restrained because he's the mayor now. Let's think about that, Turtle. He can't just go around just willy nilly killing people.
He's twitching a whole lot.
Yeah,
he's twitching a whole lot.
He's twitching a bunch.
He's twitching.
But he can't go back to being the old kingpin right out the gate. He's the mayor now. He got to think about the people.
He's doing it subtly. I mean, look how he brought all those people in one by one going, so you don't want to give me any money, huh? So what would happen
if I told such and such? Or if the task force thought you were such and such? Which, like Matt said this one thing. He said his task force is going around beating on, what'd he say, random civilians or something like that? Because he's just telling them, well, I think that person is the Punisher. Well, yeah. I think that person is Spider-Man. Well, I think that person,
and there's no evidence to prove it.
Mm-hmm. Which is why that woman, I forget her name right now, that was talking to the guy that he accused of being the swordsman, why she asked him where her husband was, which her husband could very well have been the swordsman and got hemmed up by the task force.
That, or maybe another character we haven't been introduced to yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but I did want to pull up before we continue with the finale, the final shot of the show. I wanted to pull this up so you can see what Turtle asked.
Sure.
Let me go back up here. He asked, I can't find it right at the moment, but if I find it, I will let you know.
Yeah, put it up.
He asked, oh, here it is. If Daniel, per your theory, was a vigilante, what vigilante would Daniel be?
It would have to be one from the comic books that both Fisk and Daredevil can't pin down.
Okay.
It would have to be someone who has eluded both of them. So I'm not sure who that could be. This is where my comic book knowledge with Daredevil really lacks because I haven't read. Turtle just put the blob.
Mine as well.
Turtle just put the blob. I'm sorry.
No, I gotta post it. Turtle.
That is funny.
Yeah, but hey, perhaps. But we don't know. Hey, man.
Dude.
Talking about my man look a little chunky, huh?
A little.
Hey, but hey, Wilson, Kingpin is getting that weight back. Do you see the way he was looking in that white suit tonight?
Oh yeah, it popped.
Look, all that pasta and sausage and steak and wine and
popped it out.
But speaking of Wilson Fisk,
and he put the white suit back on. He was wearing the white suit.
I thought he was going. I thought when they first showed the tuxedo, I thought he was going to have that black tie on.
No, but he went all white.
All white. That was fresh. That was a fresh tuxedo.
He was good though. I was like, yes.
Okay. But Jen, that final scene when Matt hears the click of the trigger before the bullet comes out.
Well, let's go back just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Because when he's putting it together and he's trying to talk to Heather and he starts hearing the clickety click, he purposely bumps into Fisk and starts talking to Vanessa saying, I figured it out. I know it was you. And she's like, did you tell her that you're Daredevil? And like having this little back and forth.
Right.
So like he's basically telling her, I know it's you. I know what you're doing. I figured it out and blah, 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 blah. And then he did something that no one expected. He actually protected Fisk because Bullseye was even surprised at that. He was like,
yeah.
Because he knows that he's not just going to do that for no reason.
Bullseye was surprised.
Fisk was surprised.
Fisk was surprised. Heather was surprised. And Vanessa
was surprised.
No one in that circle would have expected Matt to jump in front of a bullet for Kingpin.
Right.
Out of all the people in the world.
Like, I'm so happy the camera went back to Bullseye because it really showed Bullseye didn't expect it, and that's going to communicate to him. He just doesn't do that for no reason.
But then on top of that,
Which means, which
go ahead,
means
go ahead.
Vanessa hired him to get out so she can kill Kingpin.
Okay. So we basically on the same page, because what I was gonna say is
It's
we
all
both know
planned.
that we both know
She
that
did it.
Bullseye is not gonna quit until he takes out his target. You know, he's not gonna quit.
He's a true marksman.
And Vanessa knows that.
Which is why she hired him.
Oh my goodness, this thing went deep on us.
He's just biding his time in that jail. He's
Man.
like, all right, I'll go along with it. I'll wait. And then as he's
But-
waiting, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna call Matt.
But check this out though, Jen. And we'll wrap it up in a second on this one. So we had all this go down in episode 8. We have one more episode left next week. Okay.
Uno más.
I know. And I'm trying, like I said, I say this on each and every episode. I try not to go down the rabbit hole of theorizing every scenario, right? I'm wondering if Frank Castle is going to show up in this final episode.
You know what? They showed in the preview his symbol again. You have to pay attention to those details because
let me post this right quick.
Put it up. I'm writing it for
Turtle. I don't think people understand how I feel about Frank Castle only being in one episode, because the way they showed this, when they were promoting it, it was like it was going to be Kingpin, the Punisher, and Daredevil going at it, even though this is Daredevil Born Again. But I really thought it was going to be more Frank Castle. But I'm with you on that, Turtle. I want to ride too. I throw some stuff.
Again, I'm going to play devil's advocate, but now that we know we're getting a season 2, you don't know what they're setting up for season 2.
That's true. And you are 100% true, Jen.
Like
100% true.
Like this is where I think a lot of fans with all the different universes, from Star Wars to Tolkien to Marvel to Doctor Who, whatever you're into, season 1, you always have to set the board.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to put certain chess pieces there. You have to do you have to do setup, especially if they're planning to do more seasons than season 1. They're also talking about, they also have to forecast, forecast and plan these seasons out, so when they get the green light, they can go. Mm-hmm. So there's the conversation of, well, what happens if we don't get greenlit? Okay, let's do it the story like this. But if we do get greenlit, what does that story look like for season 2? They have to have an idea of where they're going to go. Yeah. Because I would be more disappointed as a fan that if they get greenlit and then they have nothing and we have to wait for 3 years.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that.
So yeah, like there's also some purposeful setup in how they're going to take the story. So I don't disagree though, with all that said, that it would be interesting. And it would be really cool to see the Punisher come out and just start punishing.
I mean, that, of course, but I would like to see him come out of his slump and come and take care of this quote unquote anti-vigilante squad, because especially the ones with the Punisher tattoo that's just out here really just, they not handling business like they're supposed to be.
But the other thing I find would be more interesting is if they let it build a little bit more, because wouldn't it be interesting if the Punisher actually takes out Vanessa?
Oh wow. Now there we go. Now that'll get your boy upset.
So because he's just staying down there, he knows what's going on, but he's not going to come out unless he has a good reason to.
That'll get your boy Kingpin upset.
So I'm not against them letting them build up a little bit and just have Punisher in the background waiting a little bit, because I like with everything they just did with Vanessa, it would be so interesting that if he came out just to take her out.
But Jen, because I didn't think about this when I was
Mm-hmm.
watching the show. With them going around harassing people, this anti-vigilante squad or whatever, why haven't they tried to find the Punisher?
That's another question.
You know? But listen, we're gonna have to pick this up on the next go round. But Jen, I just want to know, how have you been since we started from episode 1 to episode 8? Because every
Ooh.
episode has been like really intense. So how are you feeling going into this final episode next week? Yeah, you have to take a breath. You have to breathe.
I
You
would,
have to,
I would, I
relax
would,
a little bit.
I would make a joke and say, "Let the bodies hit the floor," but that's been
Yeah,
happening every
that's been
episode.
happening. That's been happening every
Like,
episode.
that's an understatement at this point. It's like everyone's
Oh my
already dropping.
goodness.
So man, it has been a wild ride, and I'm the type of fan that will always trust the writers. I know I'm getting a lot of hate by saying that. That's okay. Do you all do you?
No,
I will do
listen.
me.
As a fan, I don't mean to cut you off, but as a fan, I think we all should appreciate the writers because
Yes.
we are fans of the art that they are putting out.
We're
You know what I'm
fans
saying?
of the writing. The only reason
Yeah.
why we got these shows and these movies is because of stuff that has been written by writers.
Yeah, so it don't matter if you get flack for that. Yeah, we're all fans of writers. So yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate the writing. The writing is brilliant on this
This
show.
is really good. Like, and what I enjoy about this show is that there's so many things I didn't expect at all with some of the decisions they made, like really ballsy decisions from Foggy to White Tiger, the setup they're doing for Young Avengers. You know, I'm gonna keep calling it because they brought in Kamala's father. I had no,
Yes.
like you could not have asked me to take an 8-ball and ask Imagine 8-Ball. When he
Yeah.
appeared in the show, it would not tell me. It would not, it would lie.
But I guarantee you, come the second season with the next 9 episodes, I bet we'll see more of him, and we might have, like you said before, more of the Punisher. That's what I'm thinking is gonna
I mean,
come.
it would to me it would make sense because they have been doing a very light sprinkle. So it's either one of two things. He's going to come in episode 9 with whatever they're going to do and he's going to punish, or they're going to or they're slowly building up to something big with a bigger payoff in a future season. So if let's say hypothetically that my theory is right that he takes out Vanessa, I want a little bit more simmer on that one for me personally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, y'all here, that's what Jen is looking forward to. I'm gonna tell you what I'm looking forward.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to it. I'm just spouting theories like,
No,
yay,
I think Jen want to see the Punisher come in and put more bodies on the floor. I think that's what she's hoping for.
I'm
Me
not
personally,
hoping for it. I'm just spouting theories like, what? It just would be interesting.
I think it would be real interesting because what we just witnessed is Matt got shot. And
Ooh.
I don't expect Matt
He
to
got
be
shot
up.
real good.
Yeah, I don't expect Matt to be up in the next episode fighting anyone.
Yeah,
So
he's
I think somebody
stubborn.
somebody is going to have to take the helm, so to speak, for at
Well,
least
remember,
one episode.
we also got the swordsman, and a certain person was accused
Mm-hmm.
of being the swordsman. So we also have that. So another thing could be like we get the swordsman and not the Punisher, and they save the Punisher for later. Maybe.
For a bigger payout or a bigger reaction or whatever.
Maybe.
You could be right.
Maybe.
But until next time, Jen, we can just hypothesize. We can do this all night. But
like I feel like I've been doing more talking than you because I'm like, what are your other theories? But then you're like, you don't like to do that, so I want to respect that.
I don't want to go down all our because if I go down every theory that I have for each scene that I saw, we would be here all night. But we'll talk about it offline.
But
I'm sorry, people. Y'all,
you know what? We could call out sick from work tomorrow. It'll be okay.
I couldn't do that. I gotta teach the babies. I gotta teach the
That's true.
babies. But we will discuss it. I will tell you a couple more of my theories once we get off. But look, for the people, thank you for tuning in to another episode of All Star Fandom Show. We have just discussed Daredevil season 1 of Born Again,
Where the
episode 8.
bodies hit the floor.
And what Jen just said, the bodies have been hitting the floor
They've been hit.
from the very first episode. And if you have not started watching on Disney Plus, Daredevil Born Again,
You have
please
homework
start
to
watching.
do. You need to go binge this
It
weekend
is
and
a
come back
really
here
good show.
next Tuesday.
Yes, you need to come back here next Tuesday. We want you to join in this conversation with us because
Please.
we do it every Tuesday live right after the show. Come
You
and
see
join
me
us.
talk back. We've been talking to Turtle the whole time.
All night. We talked to Turtle all night. But before we get out of here, Jen, I'm gonna put this up for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can you let them know where they can find you, Jen?
Yeah, so like I said at the top of the show, my name is Jen. I have at Nerdiqua at Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. I have my podcast, Rocking the Bald Pod. That is the new @ name. We'll get that updated next time.
I'm gonna get it updated.
Yeah, so that's my podcast, Rocking the Bald, and yeah, you can find me there on my other Instagram handle where that will be.
Awesome. And as you know, hey, it's your man Doc. I know my camera's acting funny.
I like the
and
camera.
we really love each and every one of y'all, and we really thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in and coming in, just hanging out and kicking it with us. And you can find us All Star Fandom Show on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. Please join in the conversation. As you know, if you talk to us, we'll talk back. And until next time, we got this thing.
Bye. Peace.